If she says, well, I'm crazy. I did this. I kind of got crazy with my ex. I'm crazy. Just run. Again, buy yourself a new pair of shoes instead. And in fact, don't spend the money on a date. Spending money on a new pair of shoes and a faster car so you can run fast. All right, so today we are going to review a video from the Courtney Ryan YouTube channel. She's a rather large creator here on YouTube. I will leave a link in the description to her YouTube channel. The title of the video is 6 Things That Women Say That Are Red Flags. This is one I wholeheartedly agree with, but I've got some experiences, some insights, and just general overall commentary to make sure that you guys understand that if you've had experience in these things, you're not alone. Let's get started.
Number 1, we have princess/petulant behavior. Example, it's my birthday month. She might hold things over your head like gifts, Valentine's Day, special days, her birthday month, maybe her birthday year. It's her birthday year. The whole year is just a big celebration of her birthday. I don't know. It seems crazy, but to be honest, I've seen this happen. And what I really want to talk about for this one specifically here is, not just her being excited about her birthday. It's not just her, wanting to do something special with you on Valentine's Day. It's holding you to incredibly high standards that are pretty much unrealistic, and then holding herself to incredibly low standards. So this princess mentality, princess behavior that I've talked about so many times on my channel already, you can really categorize this and notice it by when she says things such as, it's my birthday month, I deserve to be treated like a queen, or a bunch of other things I'm also going to cover later in the video.
So number 1, she calls herself a princess, a queen. And I could not help but laugh about the birthday month comment because my ex-wife always had a birthday week. And sometimes it would extend to 2 weeks. So much to the point where we would all take like a 2-day trip for her birthday. And if it didn't go exactly as planned and exactly how she would wanted, she would literally insist on yet another trip, finances be damned, etc. Now, generally speaking, the woman that is going to call herself a princess, call herself a queen, she's never going to be happy. There's nothing that you're going to do to keep her happy, to make her happy, but she's going to charge you with her happiness and her unhappiness, and it's always going to be your fault when she's unhappy. So definitely, if she's using it as sarcasm, as a joke, that's one thing. But when you check her social media, if she's seriously saying that she's this princess and deserves the queen treatment, run.
Number 2, negative statements regarding her interpersonal relationships. Maybe she talks really badly about her mother or her friends or her other family members. Maybe she's bashing her ex, and it's not just, explaining something to you that happened that maybe wasn't the greatest. Maybe her ex cheated on her and that was not the best thing. Maybe he wasn't the greatest person. But if someone goes to incredible lengths to continue to speak badly about people and bash someone, this is normally not a good sign.
All right, so number 2 is negative statements about the people in her life, her family, etc. Again, I could have used this video, 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Jeez, yeah. I could have used this video 30 years ago when I met my ex-wife, because when I met her, her story was that she had 12 siblings. There was 12 brothers and sisters. And I kid you not, she said she was the only one that was not crazy. Everybody else was crazy except for her. Now, I was 22 years old, so I bought it, hook, line, and sinker. I'm not afraid to admit that. And of course, over the course of the relationship, I started to realize, they're all crazy. She was right. She was half right. They were all crazy. She was not correct in the part where she said that she wasn't. Now, in terms of holding grudges as well, that's another thing where if she's always being negative about other people and always has negative stories and negative experiences, as men, the analogy that I like to use is that, let's say that, you meet another woman, right? And she's telling you all about how her man is and how her man is. Don't buy it. Don't believe it. Don't buy it. And the reason why I say that is because think about your ex. Now, would you want somebody else believing what your ex is going to say about you? Not likely. Not likely. So return that favor to the other man and don't believe what his ex is saying about him to you. Do you follow that? I think so. Let's move on to number 3.
Number 3, we've got the mind reader talk. And this sounds something like, I shouldn't have to tell you, you should just know that. Or I shouldn't have to ask you to buy me flowers, you should just buy them for me. Asking for flowers or telling your partner what you want or need from them does not make it any less special, and I wish more people would realize this. If anything, it's more special because they genuinely listened to you and you were able to effectively communicate your wants and your needs, which you should be able to do in a healthy, mature relationship. Nobody is a mind reader, and the girl that you're with should not expect you to be one either.
Yeah. We've all been there. The mind reader that you should just know, right? You should just know. Right? I shouldn't have to explain it to you. How many times have you heard that one, guys? Right? It's inferred, right? I say this, you should immediately think blah, blah, blah. And what is incredible, what is amazing, what is astonishing, and what is universal is women will never admit this. They will never get it. They will never understand it. And they will carry it forward to the next relationship. Each new relationship, she will complain about how the previous man didn't understand her, didn't take her feelings into consideration, etc., those types of things. And then what it is in reality is that she can't communicate and she expects the man to be a mind reader. We've all been in trouble. As men, we have all been in trouble for things we did not say or do because of the anticipation and expectation that the woman had on us to do or say those things in response to some kind of aloof comment or action that they took, rather than them just coming to us and say, I need you to do this. I would like this. Instead of doing that, they will convolute the story in their mind that if they take action A, we will immediately interpret it and take action B. We don't know. We're never told any of this. We have no idea until 6 months later, we're in a fight and she's complaining about how we did not take action B. And we look at her like, what? Huh? What? And then it goes downhill from there, because once she realizes that she failed to communicate, she's not going to own that. She's just going to double down on blaming you for not taking the action that she did not ask you to take.
Number 4, she calls herself crazy. Believe it when she says it and get the heck out of there. Crazy isn't cute, I'm sorry. Some girls genuinely wear their crazy and their insecurities like a badge of honor, and I think it's really sad. Even more than sad, it's a bit concerning. She might say something like, oh yeah, I stalked your location on Snapchat to make sure that you were at home like you said you were. I'm crazy, you know that.
Number 4 is when she calls herself crazy. Now, that's the opposite of my previous story for number 2. But like she says, yes, believe her. I don't like the word crazy. And what I mean by that is I'm saying that because I don't necessarily think it's crazy. I think if there's a word to describe it, I'm not sure, but it kind of circles back to number 3. I don't know what the word is, but the expectation that somebody would take action and say things that you're not communicating to them that you need. Crazy is not quite the right word. Now, we've all seen women get crazy, right? We've all gotten crazy, but we know women tend to be over emotional about some things. And a lot of times it's about some things that never actually happen. It's just her interpretation. So the bottom line here is, if she says, well, I'm crazy, I did this, I kind of got crazy with my ex, I'm crazy, just run. Again, buy yourself a new pair of shoes instead. And in fact, don't spend the money on a date. Spending money on a new pair of shoes and a faster car so you can run fast.
Number 5 is not necessarily something she says, but more so something she does. So this one is talking over you or interrupting, or trying to complete your sentences for you. This one can be for a lot of different reasons, but some of the most common ones that I see are a need for control, a need to prove something, Maybe she's a know-it-all, maybe she has an ego problem and just constantly feels like she needs to compete with you or one-up you. Regardless of the reason, it's typically not a good one. I do think, however, sometimes people interrupt because of anxiety, or maybe they're really excited about something. So be able to kind of read your situation and understand what's happening there. But I do think it's very easy to tell when this is because she's trying to prove something to you or act like she's better than you, or trying to make everything a competition.
Number 5 is if she talks over you and interrupts. Now this one I could go on a 3-hour rant about my current situation. What I will say is this. It has been my experience that, I'll put it this way. Men, if you have found a woman and she constantly interrupts you, and you have succeeded in getting her to stop constantly interrupting, you're lying. You might be lying. There's no real trick here other than to simply stand your ground and stand your ground and stand your ground and stand your ground and continue to say, if you would let me finish, if you would let me finish, if you would let me finish. I have not found, nor have I heard of, a solution to this issue, because they're going to talk over you and especially interrupt you. The main reason I hear about that happening, the main reason I see that happening, again, circles back to number 3, only they apply to themselves but they don't apply to you. What I mean is they expect you to be a mind reader, so they play the role of mind reader. So you are in the middle of discussing something and you get out sentence 1 of sentence 3. And before you can get to sentence 2, they interrupt because in their mind, they know what you're getting ready to say. So then what's going to happen is you're going to have to immediately defend yourself from what their interpretation of what you were getting ready to say was. And if you go down that road, you're never going to get to the point where you're actually talking about what you were trying to say. The only solution I have found to the problem is not necessarily a solution, but it is a way to work around it, which is basically, if you're having a conversation and you're trying to say 3 sentences and she only lets you get out 1, do not engage. Do not engage. You simply tell her, I will communicate with you and discuss everything that I'm saying once I'm allowed to say it. But until I'm allowed to say it, I'm not going to discuss with you what you think I was getting ready to say. Now, you got a 50% chance that she's going to get mad and angry and be crazy, right? Okay, well, then you know to buy a car, shoes, run away. And then there will be a 50% chance that she's going to be able to pull herself together, calm down, and let you finish everything that you were going to say. Now, don't misinterpret, guys. Just because she lets you finish what you were going to say does not mean that she is not going to attempt to make you responsibility for the feelings that she had when she thought you were going to say something else. She will inevitably and invariably attempt to bring the conversation back to what she thought you were going to say. Again, do not engage. You are going to need to be strong. I will not engage with defending myself and placating your feelings about something that never happened and was never going to happen. If you do that, it's a bottomless pit of hell, and you'll never get to talk about anything that you want to talk about. So while number 5 to me is not something that I would classify as a deal breaker, if you meet a woman and she, in the early stages of a relationship in the courting process, tends to interrupt you, you need to, boom, hey, no, I'm not going to tolerate this from day one, because once she gets into the idea, into the knowledge that she can distract you from what you're saying by saying that she thought you were going to say something else, and now she's upset because how can you think that? And I know you were going to say this. My boyfriend used to say that, and my dad used to do that, blah, 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 blah. Once she knows that she can distract you with that and pull you away from what you were getting ready to say, you will be living in hell.
And my last one here, the most obvious, the most self-explanatory that I don't even feel like I need to explain to all of you is I hate men, or all men are trash. The alpha warning signs of the warning signs. I could go on and on here about statements I see that fall into this I hate men category or men are the worst category, but good luck with a girl like this.
Now, number 6 is short and sweet, and she said so herself. If a woman says all men are trash or I hate all men, run. Now, if you needed to be told that if a woman says all men are trash or I hate all men, if you have any inkling whatsoever, if there's even 1/2 of 1/1,000,000th of 1% inside of you, that when you hear that, you think, I could convince you better. I could talk you out of that. Delete your dating apps, sell your phone, buy shoes, buy a car, run to buy the car, run to get in the car, drive and drive somewhere where no woman can ever find you until further instruction.